Hello everyone, and welcome back to Poppy Seed Mini. I am so excited to share this new project with you. So today, I'm going to be showing you how to build this beautiful Make It Miniverse spa bathroom. Now I was inspired by those new Make It Mini Spa surprise balls, but it just didn't feel right to just get them and open them. I decided we needed a beautiful spa bathroom to do it in. One of the coolest things about this build is it's a folding doll room, so it's going to be super easy to store compared to some of our larger builds. All right, I'm too excited. Let's get crafting. Okay, so the first thing I do for this build is I take a 20 by 30 inch piece of foam core board and I find the exact center, which should be 15 inches from both sides. And I draw a line to mark my spot. Then I take my utility knife with a fresh blade in it, and I have my long acrylic ruler here. And I cut it straight across. For the floor, I need an 18-inch piece. So I'm just going to cut the last 2 inches off of my first board. Save your scraps. I'm going to cover my floor in this cute hexagon styled contact paper. Because I'm making a spa bathroom and the spa items have some real products to them, I really want to find stuff that is going to be able to be wiped off. So I'm trying not to use regular paper this time. And I'm trying to protect my foam core board. I found this contact paper at Target. I always start applying stuff like this by just peeling back a small amount. Like so. And then, still not easy. And then I'm going to line up on my straight edge. Don't stick yet. I'm going to line up this corner here. I have extra paper, so I'm actually going to make sure there's an overhang on both sides that I can go back and cut off later. So then I don't have to worry. Just trying to make sure it lays straight across that first edge so that I know the design is going to work straight across the board. All right. So once I've got it applied across that edge, there were some little wrinkles in mine, so I'm trying to work those out. I'm pulling from underneath and rubbing across as I go so I get that nice smooth application. Because this way you don't get the bubbles or the wrinkles, and it just turns out really nice. Now, one thing that I'm thinking now that I didn't think of before is I'm going to take this front edge here and I'm going to wrap the contact paper around it so that it has the design that wraps around the front. And again, I'm going to try to do this without causing any bubbles or wrinkles. But I feel like for some dumb reason, wrapping around the front, there's no guarantee. I think it's just how it adheres to that front edge of the foam core board. Oh yeah, that's looking nice. Awesome. And then all I do is take my blade and run across that back edge to get rid of the extra over here and cut away on the sides as well, any extra that there might be. For the back back wall, I need it to be 18.5 inches. It needs to be a little wider than the floor. So I'm gonna cut that down right now as well. Next, I'm gonna take my second piece of foam core board and I'm gonna cut it in half again. Nice thing about foam core board is it's that 30 by 20. So I can take it and cut it in half to get my 15-inch height that I need for my build. I've just found that that's a great height for Barbie. For the side walls, I need two 15 by 15-inch pieces. So all I do is cut 5 inches off the side. Like so. I've decided to do a little bump out behind the tub. So I also need a 10 by 15-inch piece as well. First, I cut it across at the 10-inch mark. Then I cut the board again at the 15-inch mark, so it'll be 15 inches high. All right, I'm going to be creating a little niche box inside of this wall. So I measure up 5.5 inches and then I draw a line across the board. And I want my niche box to be 2 by 8 inches. So I'm going to go back to that line that I just drew, and measuring from the line, I'm going to draw across again. And I'm leaving about an inch buffer on each side. So I've got my 2 lines drawn, and I'm going to go back and at an inch from the edge of the wall, I'm going to draw a line again on both sides of the wall, creating my little cutout. Parts like this can be the hardest parts to cut, so I just switched out for a new blade in my knife. And then I'm just going to carefully run it across the lines. There is a little wiggle room because I am going to cover this with a tile pattern. So if you do cut into the side just a titch, it's going to get covered. So you'll be good. You'll be good. Just make sure you're cutting straight. That's the biggest thing. So I do this freehand without my ruler. Probably not the brightest idea. But again, that new blade is just sliding through fantastically. And that's how you get a clean cut out of your foam core board. Okay, I mentioned before I want to make my build a little more durable this time. So we use the contact paper for the floor, and I'm now printing out my tile background for our little bump out, and I'm printing it on this white sticker paper. It's a vinyl with a matte finish, and it's waterproof. I mean, waterproof where, like, I think you can wipe it off with a rag, not like dunk it in the pool or anything. But basically all of my printables are going to be printed on this sticker paper today. Remember, if you're looking for my printables, you can go visit my blog at poppyseedmini.blogspot.com. The link is always in the description box below, as well as other information, like the links to that sticker paper. All right, before I apply this to my build, I am going to just cut off the edges that are white. And honestly, I think I'm going to cut this part on the seam so it'll be easier to line up later. Now, you do not have to use my tile pattern. This will be available on my blog. But, you know, if you have a different idea or a different style you want to use, go for it. If you don't care about it being slightly waterproof, you can for sure use paper or scrapbook paper. All right, just like with the contact paper, I am just going to peel away a little bit of the first edge of the sticker paper. Like so. And then I'm lining it up with the I'm lining it up with the bottom edge and the side. Now honestly, if it's over the side a little bit, that's just fine. I just want to make sure that bottom edge is lining up perfectly, because that's the one that is really going to matter here, which I'll lay my piece down here. Make sure I'm doing this right, which I'm not. Okay, never hurts to check. So this stuff normally can peel back off if you're careful. Okay, let's see here. Maybe I'll line this up across here. So I've got it lined up across the bottom. And then I'm going to press it down from there. How about that? All right. And then go ahead and pull and then press as you go across. Remember, it's always better to just do that little bit at a time, making sure you're not getting bubbles and wrinkles in your project. Whew. Perfect. Fantastic. Then I just flip it over and I take my knife and cut off all the excess along the edges. And then the other thing we're going to have to do is cut out the niche box. All right, I've got my second piece of printed tile. And again, I am cutting off right on that tile seam. This is probably the hardest part, because now I'm going in and trying to line up where my last print left off. Okay, so this time I am going to peel away this side, the side I'm working on lining up with the other page, because that is the important part. Maybe I'll just go over just a tiny, tiny bit. You know what? I'm going to go straight to the edge of that window. I think that's where you're going to sit it. This print is pretty busy, so it's hard to tell if I went over it a little bit anyway. And then I'm going to go from there. I'm rubbing back and forth, very careful. Oh, as I say that, trying to smooth out any bubbles as I go. If you do get a little wrinkle, just re-pull it back up a titch. Whew, we did it. And it looks amazing. All right, trim off that top layer. All right, next thing you'll need is one 1.5 by 15 inch piece, one 8 by 1.5 inch piece, which I just took the window and cut a 1/2 inch off of it. And then you'll need two 1.5 by 2 inch pieces. And if any of you are wondering, I flipped my blade after cutting that vinyl because my blade got sticky and was starting to shred the foam core board already. So if you're wondering how often I change my blade, it's quite a bit. All right, flip it over to the back side. And on the 5.5 inch side, I'm going to run a bead of glue and glue on the 8 by 1.5 inch piece. Now, if you're all wondering what on earth, why is she using that glue? I went and checked, and apparently I have no hot glue sticks for my big gun, and my small gun isn't working. So today I'm going to use my Beacon Advanced Craft Glue 3-in-1. The great thing about the Beacon glue though is it grabs and tacks right away, but it doesn't dry right away. So it kind of gives you a minute to like move things around and test things anyway. So who knows? Today may be the day I decide this is really great glue. You know what? We need longer pieces. Pause. All right, let's swap out those 2 inch pieces for 2.5 inch pieces. Okay, flip it around and put in that second side. I'm really glad that wasn't hot glue, because if it had been, I'd have been screwed. All right, piece number 2. All right, and then I'm gonna leave this top section open because I'm hoping I can shine light down onto the objects that are gonna be sitting on the shelf. All right, the next thing we need to do is glue that extra wall to the left side of this wall. And as you can see, this is when I realized my blade was going bad on me. Here's my shredded foam core board, but that's okay because it's going to go on the other side of this. Just gonna take my glue and run a bead. Oh, trying not to hit my other piece of foam core board there. And then if you get any extra, make sure to wipe that away right away. And then just glue that piece in place. Any excess glue, again, just wipe it away right away. It's a great thing with this tacky glue. It just cleans up really, as long as you clean it up right away, it cleans up nice and quick. While I'm waiting for that wall to dry, I'm going to glue my back wall to the floor. Before I glue my floor to my back wall, I am going to cut a seam in it because I'm going to make this into a folding doll room. I want to be able to fold up the floor and the walls and pack it away in a smaller space. So I'm cutting a seam at 5 3/4 inches. And when I mean seam, I mean I am only running my blade through one side of the paper of the foam core board. So I should be able to pick this up and snap it open like so. So when we go to put our build away, we can fold up the floor. Catch any extras, any drips, and then I'm just going to press that against the floor. Now, the back wall is 18.5 inches, where the floor is only 18. So you are going to have about 1/4 of an inch overhang on either side. I am also cutting a 6-inch seam into my 2 side walls. Again, a seam is where you're only cutting through one side of the paper. Cut and pop. Cut the 6-inch seam into both walls. I'm going to glue in my right wall first. So I'm going to glue along that 5 3/4 seam on the bottom. It doesn't get glued the rest of the way. So on the bottom there, and then all the way up the edge of the wall. Yeah, a little extra there. Make sure you've got the proper fold here so that it's folding in. And glue that in place. And that should help square up your room as well. I decided I wanted to cover this part of the wall because you will see it by the vanity. So I did print out an extra sheet of vinyl to cover the sides. And I just cut them to size. Now it has a nice finished edge around the corner. On the Bathtub printable, I added this little piece here so that I can cover the shelf. And I'm just going to stick it right in along the shelf. All right, glue in your little accent wall with the shelf. Very carefully, because you don't want to get any glue on the parts of the wall that you're not gluing to. For the vanity, cut out 1 6x6 out of foam core board and 2 2.5 by 6 inches. Then we're going to apply our next sticker. So I'm going to peel it off at the very top here. You know, I'm starting to think maybe I should have put the sticker on and then cut out the foam core board so that I could not have to try to apply it so straight. Just a thought, totally an option for you guys to think about. I've already cut out my foam core board, so I guess I'm just going to go for it. The hardest part is doing it on camera, I think. All right, now I am gonna kind of lay down my sticker and see, make sure my edges are lining up and it's looking good. So I'm gonna start peeling and pressing. Whew, okay, that went really well. I think I was more scared than I needed to be. All right, and then I am gonna cut out underneath the cabinets. So the legs, and across the bottom here. Like so. Glue down both of the side pieces. And I always push towards the center or towards the inside of the item so that the glue, if there's any extra, is going to be inside and not outside where we can see it. There we go, like so. To make the sink, I'm just sticking it on to the back side of a recycled cereal box. Just like so. And then cut it out. Once I have it cut out, I'm going to run a black acrylic pen. You could also probably use a Sharpie or something across the top edges so that you're not going to see any of that brown when the sink gets set in place. So only along the tops matter. The tabs don't matter. Score on all the lines before folding. Then fold all the sides up and the tabs need to fold in. Like so. Add glue on the tabs. This is probably a great time for our little clips to come in handy. All right, let that dry. To make the vanity top, you'll need to cut out a piece of foam core board that is 3 inches by 6.5 inches. Now, I didn't cut out my sticker perfectly. The only edge that's straight across is this one. And I did that so that I have a little bit of extra on the edges for overlapping. Peel the first edge back like so. And then I am centering. Oh no, I touched it. Ah, the horror. Okay. Oh, praise God, this stuff peels back off. Okay. See these 2 dark lines here on the edges? That's where the corners need to sit. Okay. Then peel it back and press as you go. All right, now I'm going to take my scissors and clip into this corner right here. On both sides. All right, and then I'm going to fold over that front edge, making sure it's nice and smooth. Honestly, I'm going to cut into it again, so I have this little strip here on the side before I curl the rest of it over. Now I'm going to fold that tab down and I will clip away anything that is extra. All right, and then fold in the tab on the other side and clip. And then we're going to fold down the sides. Make sure you're happy with how that's sitting. Clip away any extras. Honestly, it'd probably be really smart to corner cut these. Yeah, I'm going to corner cut these. So I'm just going to take like a triangle out. There we go. Like so. There we go. Pretty slick, hey guys? So this has been fun. The next thing we're going to do is cut out the sink hole. So very carefully cut along those black lines to create the cutout for the sink. All right. See how I did? Now, if you're not sure if it cut through all the way, a quick trick is always to flip it around on the back, and you can kind of see the corners that didn't get cut through. And half the time it's just the back side and not even the front side that isn't cut. Right? There it goes. I got a little extra over here. If you see any extra foam, just make sure to get rid of that. All right, I've tested my sink and I am shy by about 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to go back and cut off another 1/8 of an inch so that my sink will fit. Well, I took a sliver off of one side and now I'm having to take another sliver off the other side to get it to fit. I did switch my blade because I noticed my foam core board was shredding on me a little bit, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's cutting so much better this time. All right, now just take your sink and hopefully it should slip into place, no problem. Like so. Ooh, how cute is that? All right, and I think all I'm gonna do to glue this in place is just bead the beacon glue all the way around all 4 edges on the back side. So that way I'm not having to deal with any glue or nasty residue on my front side here. Then you can add glue to the top, and we will glue on the countertop. To make the bathtub, you'll need to cut 3 8 by 3 1/4 inch pieces and 2 3 1/4 inch by 3 5/8 inch pieces. Now, I want my tub covered in my waterproof vinyl, but I'm not going to do a printable for the inside of the tub. So I'm just going to take a blank sheet of my vinyl sticker paper and I'm going to peel the whole thing off and very carefully lay it down, sticky side up. And then I'm just going to place first my bottom down, and that one I don't need any overlap, so I can pretty much set it on the edge. And then on my side pieces, I want a little bit of an overlap on the top edge. So I'm going to give it like 1/4 of an inch overhang on one side. So this will be my side with the overhang. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. Like so. So I've left about 1 inch in between the 2 pieces, and I'm going to cut right in the center. And then I'm going to cut the sides off. And then carefully fold the vinyl over your edge. The bottom piece just gets completely cut out flat. All right, so then vinyl sides up. I'm going to add my little extra pieces here. So I've got my little drain, and I'm going to center my design on the mat here so I can kind of see exactly where center is. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I can tell on my mat here. And I am going to put down my little drain design there. And now I've taken the extra dot pattern that I added to the printable and I've cut out 2 corners. And I'm just going to add dots to this corner and I'm going to add them to this far corner here. There we go. So now that's coated in vinyl. It's got its stickers. Last thing I'm going to do is finish up the second side so that it is coated in vinyl. There we go. That gives us 2 nice top edges for our tub. For my 2 side pieces, I'm cutting a 3 5/8 inch strip of vinyl. Then I'm going to cut the piece of paper in half. All right. Then I'm just going to wrap the inside and the top ledge of these side pieces. All right, on one of the sides, now this is the inside, I am sticking on the little, what do you call that thing that's made for if the water fills up? The overflow valve. So I've added that, and now I'm going to flip my piece over, and I'm going to stick on my side panel sticker. Stick those on both of the back sides of the side panels. The last thing you'll need is a 3 1/4 by 8 inch piece cut out of recycled paperboard. And this is going to be the front panel of your tub. Now I've cut out along the bottom and I'm going to line that up because I want the sides and the top to be able to overlap. So I've left an edge on all the edges. I'm just going to clip into the top here. And cut out that corner on either side. And then fold this top part down first. Now, if you lose your black line at all, like I have, apparently my calculations or something were a little off, you can always go back with your black pen and add more black to the design. Cut off any extras, and there we go. Okay, to glue the tub together, I start by gluing the 2 sides to the bottom. Oh, you know, I think I'm just going to add glue to both sides before I stick it on. Might be a good idea. There we go. That's one of the nice things with the 3-in-1 is, like I said, I would never get away with this with hot glue. Oops. But you do have to give it a minute to set. After the sides are glued on, I flip it up and then I'm going to glue along the sides. Now make sure you put the little, what did we call this thing again? On the same side as the drain. Anyway. The overflow valve, right? That's what it is. Oh, my brain sometimes, y'all. Okay. Again, make sure you wipe away any extra. All right. That's looking good and super square, and all the edges look super awesome and nice. My gosh, I finally made a doll bathtub. This is so exciting. All right, flip up that other side. Glue along all the edges again. And pop that second side on. And then I lay it down, and I just want to make sure everything is sitting square for me. All right, I lied. The front panel of the tub needs to be 8.5 by 3 1/4. So I had to go back and make a new front panel. The printable will be correct though for you guys. I'm just making the note. Go ahead once that's the correct size and glue it to the front of the tub. Now it is up to you guys. If you wanted a back panel for your tub, you can always print an extra copy. But I know the back of my tub is going to be sitting against that wall and I'm never going to see it. So I'm not too worried about it. I am going to make sure to hold this top edge for a while because I want that to be really clean and nice looking, and I don't want any of the glue to pull away. So there's our tub. How cool is that? Before I put my next wall on, I take my vanity and I center it in the middle of this wall. But remember, about 1/4 of an inch of this part will be covered. Before I stick my mirror on, because it's a sticker, I stick a little tacky to the back of it so that I can adjust it before sticking it on. That way I can get the exact placement. Next, I place my bathtub so that it is right under the shelf. And I just add a little tacky on the bottom. I'm not actually gluing it into the room, but that's just me. I like to move things. All right, next we're gonna make some faucets for our sink and our tub. So you'll need 1/4 of an inch dowel, a couple skinny sticks, a skewer, some eyelets, and I have a chunk of a 3/4 inch popsicle stick. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is mark the 1/4 inch dowel at 4.5 inches. And then I'm going to mark the other side at 1 inch. Then I'm going to take my handsaw and cut the 2 pieces. Try to cut the edges as evenly as possible, but if they're not very even, you can sand them till they are even. And also take any rough spots off. Next, I take a skinny stick and I measure 1 inch on one side, and I need 1 1/4 inches on the other side. And I just use my X-Acto knife to cut through this. Apparently it's time to change my blade. Once you're done cutting them, sand down the rough edges. And I like to curve the 2 back corners as well. Like so. Next, I glue the eyelets to the edge of the skinny stick. And I make sure they are centered because it does overhang a titch, but it ends up looking really cool, so you'll just have to trust me. Next, I take my 4.5 inch dowel and my 1 inch dowel And at a 1/2 inch from the top, I make a little mark. Then I take my hand drill, and I have the largest drill for my kit in there right now. And I'm just going to drill right into that mark. I drill into my dowel almost completely through, like so. Once you're done drilling through both pieces, take your sandpaper and make sure there's nothing extra on the edges. And tap out any sawdust out of the holes. Then I take a skewer and I cut a 1/2 inch piece. You'll need 2. Next, I take another skinny stick and I drill into one of the side edges. Oh, shoot. I broke that one. All right, try again. This is something you have to be kind of careful not to overdo because they can kind of separate, and sometimes you get a weak one. All right. I'm trying to drill nearly through, but not all the way. Once you're done drilling, cut off a little bit more of the edge on one side. See how I didn't drill in the center, I drilled to one side, and now I'm cutting off about a 1/16 of an inch here. And then I want my handle to be at least a 1/2 inch, if not a little longer. Then I use my sander to even it out the rest of the way and round things out. Now you're going to glue your dowels into the little handles. And let those dry. Stick both of your handles into your faucets, and then we're going to glue the tops on. So the short 1-inch one is for our sink faucet, and the longer one is for the bathtub. All right, and you want to make sure you're holding these even and that they're lining up properly while they're drying, so they're not wonky. The last thing you'll need is a 3/4 inch piece of the 3/4 inch popsicle stick. So basically you're just making a square piece. And of course, don't forget to sand. Add glue to the center of the board and glue on your tall bathroom or bathtub faucet. All right, once these are dry, I'm going to take them outside and spray paint them black. And here we go, they're all finished. And the little faucet handles can turn because you only glue the one side, not the other. To make a little towel rack, I use the same technique as I did to make the faucets. I just drilled holes in and then clipped a piece of wooden dowel and stuck them in. I made one that was 3 inches long, and I put a dowel in the center of each of the inches. Glue your faucet to your vanity. Tacky or glue your faucet to the front of the tub. Okay, I want my towel rack to sit right here, but I also want my room to be able to fold up. So I fold up my floor and then I measure to 9.5. So as long as my towel rack sits above 9.5 inches, my room should still be able to fold closed. So to be on the safe side, I glued it in at 10 inches high. And I think I might add a little extra Make It Mini magic here and stick on a sticker that makes it look like my towel rack has a shadow. All right, it's looking pretty cool in here. I think it's time to glue on that second wall, add the toilet, and then we can decorate. The best part! Glue in your second sidewall exactly like the first. Making sure to only glue that 5 3/4 inch part and up the side. I also like to use push pins and stick them into the wall while it's still being glued to help support and help it hold better. But if you're making this for kids and you don't want pins in your build, I totally understand. All right, now that we have both walls in place, we can watch the magic happen. So everything is in place and you can fold up your floor and pull in both walls and they meet together. And suddenly you have a large build that goes from 18 by 15 to only 18 by 6 to store. Okay, unfortunately, I ran out of time for designing a toilet, so I thought I'd take my dollar store toilet, which I found at the Dollar Tree, and my mom informs me they are still in stock. So as long as you can get to a Dollar Tree, hopefully you'll find one. But I'm going to give it a little sprucing up with some of my vinyl stickers. So I did add some extra stuff on the printable. And I'm going to take this polka dot strip and I'm going to wrap it around the top of the toilet here. And it's adjustable if you don't get it quite right. There we go. Gives it a nice little Make It Mini spruce up. And then I think I'm going to take some of my extra dots here and just add a little dot to the edge. Now I'm going to set it on square. And then my plan is to cut away any extra that I don't need. So I'm just kind of wrapping that around the edge there. And then I'm going to take my scissors and cut away the extra. There we go, like so. I also made a sticker rug, but I haven't quite decided if I like it in front of the vanity or in front of the tub. So I'm not ready to commit to this sticking down yet. So I'm just gonna leave it with its sticker back still on. Well, this bathroom is looking pretty awesome if I do say so myself. So let's take some of our Make It Mini lifestyle items and decorate this bathroom. Oh, but I am going to add this little stool that I found on Temu because it's so super cute and it looks perfect in here. All right, now we'll add the Make It Minis. Now you all have a fun place to store your Make It Mini plants and candles. And I can't wait to check out those new spa items to add to the bathroom. Hey guys, please let us know if you enjoyed this video and if you would like us to make more Make It Mini style rooms. Well guys, I'm afraid this video is long enough, so I think we'll save our Make It Mini spa surprise balls for another video. We sure hope you enjoyed today's video. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have fun crafting!